Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. Happy Monday. Wanted to wish you everybody a very successful week ahead. And we're going to be bringing some really exciting guests this week. But we will start off with a really interesting one. His name is Toby Albert-Corban, and he's a real estate advisor and digital creator based in London.
There he is. What's
Hey,
happening, Toby? How you doing?
I'm good, thank you. And thank you for that intro.
No, of course, of course. How's everything with you?
Yeah, it's going well. London is great, a great city to be in, to work in, and to live. So, yeah, super excited. Things are going well.
Super, super. Well, thank you for joining us today. I look forward to finding more about your story because definitely looking up for what you've been doing, I find it very interesting, to see how you found yourself not just becoming a real estate advisor, but also a digital creator. You've come up with some really interesting content throughout different platforms, specifically TikTok, to find that uniqueness that makes you stand out and sell those amazing properties. So tell us about you and your story, my friend.
Yeah, definitely. So yeah, just like you said, I think social media was huge for me. And going back, I kind of started not really knowing what I wanted to do. I had just finished uni, and really what it was a friend of mine who was in uni at the time was an agent. And I remember we met at his place for a project. I thought it was his place at least, but it was actually an house that he was throwing. There
Okay.
was people there. But we started talking, and he's like, "Yeah, I'm an agent on the side," and I was just really intrigued, about the industry from then. And I always liked architecture and interior design. So yeah, that inspired me really. It was him. And then when I got back to London, I just decided, look, I'm going to try this out. So I applied to a bunch of positions, probably about 60. I got about 3 or 4 responses, ended up taking one. And then, yeah, that was where my career started essentially. And for me, it started off in the high street model, which is like the corporate model
Okay.
in the UK. So it's like a salaried role with a very small commission. And yeah, that's where I started out. And I quickly realized that the way that I was working was quite outdated, and how I like to provide service. They didn't kind of want us to be operating in that way, and there was limited earning potential. So I was just like, look, if I want to do this, I have a passion for it. I want to do it in a way that makes sense. So yeah, I became independent. I started the Corbin Group, and this was just before COVID hit. And I remember my first deal actually, me immediately just calling everyone I knew, trying to figure out what I could do, and I put a deal together. And then COVID hit, and yeah, I remember clearly being at home one day, and just trying to think, what can I do to get myself out there? I'm a new agent. I have a new business. I need to figure out ways to reach people. So I knew social media was there, and I was always creative. So TikTok kind of had a name for itself. It was very early stages. And yeah, I took to TikTok. I was inspired by a few agents that were on the platform. And, a few videos later, things just kind of took off.
Now tell me, Toby, about this content because a lot of people, when they think in terms of, okay, yeah, makes sense. I need to get into social media more. Now, do you choose a specific platform? Do you try to cover everything? What kind of content do you use or do? What's the first step that you will recommend?
I recommend, I would say choose 2 platforms you like, which you post on regularly. If there aren't any that you're active on, just choose 2, and, figure out kind of how you can provide value. People probably heard that a bit thrown around here and there. It's really true. I think with content, one of the biggest things is figuring out how you can provide value. And there's 3 main ways in terms of the value add. There's the entertainment, the information, and really, posting valuable content platforms. Me, it was entertainment that worked quite well. And then I think I was also adding a bit of an content posts. But yeah, I would say 2 platforms, TikTok, LinkedIn are great. The organic reach is huge on those platforms, right? So yeah, I would say pick 2, and really just go for it.
What was the process for your first viral video to go viral, and what did you do to get to that point?
Yeah, definitely. So my first few videos was really, you know, I have a few properties that I filmed before from clients' home. How can I get added exposure to these clients? You know, they've been on the market for a little while. I need a different, something fresh. So for me, it was just creating a video with short form content, no longer than 15 seconds. First one that went viral was 30 seconds. The other one was 15 seconds. How can I create something quick, sharp, that would grab people's attention? But also, like, I didn't want to sell to these people either. The point was to get the exposure and to really, you know, if they're in the market to buy, they can inquire. So I didn't want to sell. I just wanted to, you know, a piece of content that was great for people that would in return get exposure on video. So that was really my goal when I created my first couple videos that went viral. And I think that's kind of what happened. I wasn't really like, okay, I want to go viral.
Are there really a lot of these buyers on TikTok, or is there the kids that tell their parents? Because a lot of people have this mindset or this perception that TikTok is for a younger generation that might not have the capability to purchase a property. So are those the direct buyers, or are those the ones that influence their parents or contacts to purchase?
No, great question. I think that it's definitely a mix of both. You know, starting out 2 years ago during COVID, the demographic was you know, a lot lower in terms of age, but now it's scaled up. You know, I recently closed 2 deals in a luxury building, and the client found me through TikTok. You know, which is amazing. He was relocating to London, and he messaged me like 2 months ago and was just like, "Look, I've seen what you're doing. This is what I'm looking for." We set an appointment. You know, everything was legitimate, and we ended up, you know, finding him 2 homes in a luxury building.
Oh, super! I totally agree with you, and I think it's a great mix, you know, of both worlds. Now, what I will tell you as well, and kind of to follow up on this, I was reading an article recently that kind of was saying that the new generation, you know, Gen Z, was starting to use TikTok the same way that the older generations were using Google. Just typing in, you know, typing in what you're looking for. People are starting to do that on TikTok as well. So in case for you, it's very good because in your handle, you're already London real estate. So when people are typing in real estate in London, guess what shows up? Your username is right there. Your videos are in there. So in terms of SEO, it's very important the way that you put the description on your videos, the way that you use your hashtags, the way that you use your handles. So, I mean, that just caught my attention because sometimes we just forget that people are searching. It's not just in Google, it's also social media. So
yeah, no, that's very true. And like, those are the details of the content too, that, you know, when you're creating, you definitely want to be paying attention to. So even in the copy on your videos, you want to be putting in kind of keywords that are searchable. You know, you just don't want to put the price, because, you know, it's not very searchable. You want to put the location, the area, add a few other keywords in. So, I mean, yeah, that's huge for SEO. And, with digitization of the world, you know, it's just how things are going. People are now, you know, Googling on TikTok, which is just funny to say.
Absolutely, absolutely. Well, I think this type of conversation, it was really important to talk about because, you know, in Super Luxury Group, one of the things that we specialize on is on celebritizing and selling multi-million-dollar homes. And the reason that we do it is mainly through influencer marketing. So the attention, the exposure is so important nowadays. Otherwise, nobody's going to work with you. So you definitely found yourself a great niche and a great way to stand out. And I really encourage everybody that is listening to take that leap of faith and work on improving your brand on social media. Now, obviously, it's not just as easy as it sounds, right? It's not just like, oh, I post one video and it goes viral. I'm sure you posted a lot of videos that didn't get any results. So what would you say was your biggest failure and what did you learn from it?
Ooh, biggest failure, I would say, is being too hard on myself about content. So there have been times I've put out content and, you know, it hasn't got much views or it didn't get the engagement I wanted. And I won't even lie, there was a couple of times of the video, and then, you know, you feel bad afterwards, like, why the video? But you just don't need to, you don't really need to go there, you know, like you said, because not everything's going to do great, but also that doesn't really matter. The views and the engagement, it isn't really what matters in the grand scheme of things. I think what matters is that you're participating, you know, and you're consistently there, but also you're consistently putting yourself out there, because, you know, creating content can be vulnerable sometimes. So it's good to kind of exercise that, if that makes sense, and to not kind of, because not everything's going to be perfect at the end of the day. So that's what I've realized. So now if a video doesn't do well, I'll just leave it. You know, I'll just let it rock, and it will. It will. But I think, yeah, not putting too much pressure on yourself or on the content.
I like it. That's pretty important, because a lot of people, they get discouraged when a video doesn't go well. Now, the truth of the matter is that the consistency is what's really going to take you to that video that eventually is going to change your entire career, because this is what it is. You're one video or one post away from completely transforming your career. So you just need to stay consistent to that. And one thing that you just said about leaving those videos, I find it also very important, because that's just like a track record. People will not be able to tell, oh, this guy just got lucky with that video. They're going to see all the work that is behind that video. It was not just one video. You've been posting videos for a really long time, and with information that is so important that nobody will ever take that away from you. So yeah, it's a great way to build your library, build your audience, and eventually hit one of those viral videos like yourself. Now, let me ask you, Toby, because just not changing the topic, but kind of adding into it, the word luxury, right? We always ask this to all of our guests. What does it really mean to you?
Oh, I love that. So for me, luxury, it means receiving the best. You know, I can kind of break it down maybe into two areas in relation to what I do. And I would say it will be the service. So getting the best service possible, you know, from a person or from people, and then a product. So the best product, you know, the materials that are associated with that product, where they're sourced. I would just say it's receiving the best of something is what luxury is.
I love it.
But it's just that it's a level it's a level that you're receiving, which I believe is the best. So I would say that what luxury is for me.
Very, very good. No, thank you. I like it. I like that answer. Who doesn't like, yeah, the best of the best when it comes to products and services? I agree. That's luxury. Now, to wrap this up, obviously you've built yourself a very successful career in a period of time that people will dream of, right? A lot of people work for many, many, many years, and you've able to find a way to reach success through different angles. So what would you say is the biggest takeaway or biggest recommendation that you will suggest to our audience to take on action today?
Yeah, I mean, I would say taking action first is huge. And then secondly would be patience in the journey. You know, like you said, I've had a shorter career as opposed to a lot of seasoned agents, but you know, patience is huge, you know, because with everything that's happening that's so fast nowadays, kind of forget to slow down, be patient with ourselves, be patient with the process. So that's something that I have to remind myself every day. So I think that's a huge thing. So for anyone going into the industry, that's starting, that's been in it a few years, I think remember to be patient, things will work out, it takes time. But as long as you're consistent throughout the journey, that and appreciating the journey, then you're far. So that's been it.
I love it. Well, thank you so much. Is there anything else that you would like to share before we wrap this up?
No, appreciate the call. I appreciate everyone that's watching, and yeah, I'd love to do this again sometime soon.
Sounds good. Well, I look forward to seeing you in London, or if you ever come to Miami, be my guest, and best of luck. Keep on crushing it. I look forward to seeing you do some really fun and interesting videos on TikTok and everywhere else, and I'll be tuning into it. So thank you again. For everybody watching or listening, please make sure to subscribe and to check what Toby is doing, not just on Instagram, but on TikTok, LinkedIn. So thank you all for watching, and until the next one, take care, Toby.
Okay, guys.